Hello my friends, I hope you're having a lovely day, and in today's video we are checking out the Persistence, which I've been playing for maybe a half hour just to get the hang of it, to see what's going on before I jumped into a video. And I'm glad I did, because at first I was like, what is going on? But now I have an idea. This is the Switch version of the Persistence. It's coming out May 21st, I want to say, definitely later May. And it was a VR game that's being brought over to the Switch, which leads to some interesting design choices that you don't normally find in traditional first-person games. One of these was a flashlight, yes. As you see, I have that like indicator, which you'd be like, oh, that's just your target where you shoot, but that's not the case. Like, you use that to interact with things, so there'll be like locks that you look at, and they'll just automatically open, or things you want to pick up like that. I just look at it and I pick it up. So it's definitely different from a traditional first-person shooter, but if you've played a game of VR, then that kind of stuff is normal. That's how a lot of VR stuff works. You just look at it. I got nervous. Something was coming to get me. It's normal in VR. You just look at it and you interact with it, or it opens or whatever. Oh, something did happen. This closed behind me. Let's turn off that light. So yeah, there's definitely some trappings of VR. Like this as well. I can look at places and just hit boop B, and I transport over there. Whoop, which is, again, usual for VR, but unusual for traditional first-person shooters. Not bad or anything like that, just different. Alright, so the Persistence is the name of the ship I'm on, and the character that I'm playing was killed, and they were printed a new body by the ship, and the ship needs your help to figure out what the hell's going on here, because something's gone wrong on the ship. Printers all over the ship are being used to print out these things, which are kind of human, but not really human, and they're causing all kinds of trouble. So you need to work with the ship to figure out what the hell's going on. And it's a roguelike, so that means lots of death. Locked. Experimental fabricator switched off, great. So there's a lot of stuff to level up here. Let me see. Escape arts, invisibility, time warp, rage serum, reaper, grav hook. Let's see what that means. Weaponized gravity device. Lift enemies in the air and smash. Well, I don't need to read anymore. That is definitely what I want. Cost 100. Well, that seems like a steal to me. So you can get traditional weapons. I just want to listen to make sure I get it right. You can get traditional weapons, and you can also harvest DNA from enemies to spend on other upgrades. So there's a whole bunch of things to get here. And because it is a roguelike, because it is a roguelike, every time you die, which I've done quite a bit. What lit up over here? Oh, there is somebody there. The ship gets a the floor that you're on gets a random layout every time you come back, which is kind of cool. Oh, okay. Let him do his thing. Oh, shite. I learned that last time, that if you, oh boy, if you go to look at something, no. Is that health? No, it is health. When you go to look at something and it locks, it could blow up and hurt you. That guy was here. That guy's pretty fast. This is my chance. I want... Oh, shite. He saw me. Where did that guy go? What did I do to him? It says grab. ZR to grab. Well, that worked out. I think I screwed something up there. I don't think he's supposed to go through there, but you know what? He's gone, and that's all that matters. So, like I said, if you can sneak up on enemies, you can harvest their DNA to get stuff later on, which is good. It encourages stealth, but obviously stealth is a lot harder, especially if there's more than one enemy to deal with, and they're moving faster than I thought. So this is something I don't even know if I want it. Yeah, I'll take it just in case. This is something I made last time. A baton to beat people up with, but or a riot baton, as the voice says, to beat guys up, and you can electrify it eventually, so you can get more use out of it. Because you know there's guns that you can get, but they use ammo. Can I do anything with this? No. So I figured a baton would be good. I wasn't sure if you lost all your weapons when you died. As far as I know, you did, unless I did something wrong, which is certainly possible. So yeah, you're going around level by level on the ship to see what you can find and solve this mystery. So it's pretty cool because it's randomly generated, but there are story beats that you'll get on every floor, and it's interesting to think that like you will have a randomly generated ship that will eventually take you to a spot for like a story point that everybody's going to see. But how you get there and how challenging it is along the way is going to differ for everybody. And there is a mode that's more focused on, oh boy, letting people just experience the stories. Oh, I think I saw something. I swear I saw a little bit of red. You can't just use that right away. It has to recharge. I knew I saw something. Alright, so let's go back to the gravity hook. Oh, I only have 2 more uses of it. Oh, I was going to be like, why would you need anything else? These suckers are so much faster than I thought. Alright, so the smart approach would be use the harvester if I can sneak up on this guy. I was about to say I'm sure he's going to turn around as soon as I start. There we go. So that's as good as it goes. He didn't know I was there. I stole the DNA. I didn't get hurt. So that's great. I can only imagine how much stuff there is to upgrade your character as you're going along. And I just love the idea of exploring a ship with these weirdos crawling around. I'm sure you're going to come across more enemies as you play. The controls so far are, like I said, there's the like interacting with stuff that is different from usual, but your character's pretty slow. Like I looked at the controls. I don't think there's a run button, and I also turned up the turning speed as high as it could go, but like you'll get going eventually, but you start off a little slow. So that might be an issue for some people. But again, it's the trappings of the game coming from VR. Because I would imagine people weren't really thinking about it being slow because they would just zip across the map like that, which... Oh, I have to wait for it to reload. I didn't even realize they used that. But that's not how I want to move around like this. In VR, it certainly makes a lot of sense. I hear someone. I hear someone. Give me the baton. So yeah, there's some things to get used to. Not saying it's bad, but it is different. And obviously, looking in a VR game to pick up something is a lot easier than lining up your camera to pick up things. So again, I don't believe that can be turned off. I don't like the looks of this room. I don't know if these things react to light or not. Gamblers playing a nice, friendly game. I found out the hard way that yes. Oh, hello. I found out the hard way that these things can, nope, can go into vents. Let's see if I can screw this up. I bet I can. Alright, I'm feeling good. Go over there and get yourself a drink, bud. You look thirsty. Oh, and you pick up schematics to build new stuff, too. So, yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do here. I don't think there's anybody else in here. I'll risk it. I'm sure I'll regret saying that in a second. But it's an interesting mix of ideas. I'm intrigued. I'm excited to like really dig into the different aspects of what you can make and different ways to move around the ship and different ways to interact with stuff and different ways to explore, basically. And like I said, this is probably my longest run. Yeah, this is my longest run in a game just because I've learned a few like basic mechanics, and I'm not like fumbling with controls too much. Because there is a bit to learn in the beginning, and like I said, I'm sure there's more for me to learn as well. But I like the whole idea, and it seems to be a nice looking game. It seems like it's got an interesting storyline. I like the idea of the character being dead and like coming back through. Oh, I got nervous. Through 3D printing a body, but not, you know. So basically, they are the same person, but they're in a completely new body. And you can upgrade the body to have more health and things like that as well. And the person wants to find out what happened to them. You know, I've played a lot of sci-fi games and I've seen a lot of sci-fi movies. I'm guessing the ship isn't going to be as friendly as it appears to be, first off. Oh, dear. I knew it. Get out of here. Alright. Oh, he turned his... I gotta remember that if they turn their back, I can get them. I keep forgetting that. I thought I heard somebody else. That was the best melee back and forth I've had in the whole game. Most of the time, I was hitting the block too early and then just getting punched. Man, that worked out great. Alright, so red platforms, don't stand on them. Can I squeeze by here? Seems like it. Are you down for the count, dude? Well, I hear something bad on the left, so I'm not too excited to go that way. Man, I could really get into this. I would imagine this would be... I don't get... There's one game that legitimately creeped me out, like, made me uncomfortable, and I was like, oh man, this is really rough to get through. But I still played it, and that was PT. That was just so well done that it scared the crap out of me. And, you know, obviously I'm not the only one to feel that way. And that wasn't in VR. But I would imagine playing this in VR could be a pretty scary experience. I'm sure some of you are looking at this just on Switch and be like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this. And, you know, I'm fine with it. I'm not knocking people who would be scared by it. I don't really get scared by... It takes a lot to scare me in a game, and I feel like PT was way, way, way above and beyond. But maybe this game will do something to surprise me. Oh, I can pick these up. Alright, well, that feels like a good look at the Persistence for now. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you find the game intriguing, because I certainly do. I'm very excited to play more. This is... I had an idea of what it was going into it, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be my kind of thing. But I'm liking it, so... yeah, that's my look at the Persistence, coming to Switch later this month. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting. It's very much appreciated. Also, a huge thank you to those of you who saw... support me on Patreon. It means a lot. Helps me do videos like this, the site, the podcasts, all that good stuff. So thank you. If you want to learn more about the Patreon, which is just $1, you can check out a link in the description below. But as for today, that's it. If I have something interesting to show you, I will be back tomorrow. So until then, have a lovely day and a lovely evening, and I'll see you in a few short hours.